friends, welcome back to Science with me. My name is Dr. Erica and this is my sidekick Georgia joining us this week as we go through movie special effects. It's gonna be so much fun and it's a great way to really spice up your Halloween this year. Now we already made some really cool wounds that were just so creepy. And now we can add a little bit of fog because maybe you want to mix something up that's a little spooky. So what you need to make your do-it-yourself fog machine is pretty much your recycling bin and vegetable glycerin. So vegetable glycerin, this is the name of the game. You can get this at the grocery store. You do not have to get a gallon. We got a gallon because it's really good for your skin when you make things like hand sanitizer, which we've been making some of. So vegetable glycerin from your store is the main ingredient. That's what's gonna allow the water vapor to come together in bigger clumps, and then you can see those clumps. So instead of just water steam, it's this really nice dense fog. We do need some water, and the ratio of glycerin to water, we'll talk about that as we're mixing. You won't get fog if it's pure glycerin, and you won't get fog if it's pure water. So we need sort of a mix between the two. So we wanna have that on hand. Other things you're gonna need, we need a base for our fog machine. It needs to be metal. I have a tuna can from Georgia's lunch today and some tea lights, and that's why it needs to be metal because the tea lights are gonna go under here and they are gonna heat this guy up for us, which is gonna be great. You need something to sort of funnel your fog up. So we're gonna cut the top part of this off and put it on here. So this is just from our recycling bin, which will be good. We need some tape. And then because we're using fire, and fire needs oxygen to burn, we need to make sure we can get some oxygen in here. So we're gonna poke some holes in the sides of our container with a hammer and nails, which will be great. And we need a lighter so we can light things, and some scissors and a spoon to mix things up. And that's all we need. So the first thing we're gonna do is with your metal tin, we really wanna poke a whole bunch of holes all the way around so that as our fire burns and we heat things up, we actually have some places to suck more air in. Otherwise, you'll find out that your tea light continually goes out. If you find that your tea light's always going out, it's not heating everything up, that is the thing to make more of. Make more holes. We only want to make holes on the side because we're going to put liquid on the top. And if we put liquid where there's holes, it'll turn out our tea lights. So just on the sides, and we are just going to hammer a bunch of holes in here. All right. All right, so we have a whole bunch of holes going around here. We're gonna see if that works. Options that we could do if it doesn't work, we could open up the holes with maybe something that's a little bigger, or we can look for maybe a hole punch. I know that I've got a hole punch that will punch some big holes, but it'll just be around the bottom, so that won't be as helpful. The way you can test is if you light one of your tea lights, then we should be able to put it under there, and our tea light should continue to burn under here. You want to put it on top for me? So we can check and make sure, and if it goes out, that will tell us, ooh, it's not getting enough oxygen. All right, and while we wait to check that, ooh, ours went out already. So we are gonna open up these holes a little bit more. Ooh, it did burn it, that's kind of cool. So we're gonna open up our holes a little bit more. You might find the same thing happening to you.
Be careful at top.
That's all right. Yeah, we're not ready for that, please. All right, so now we've got this guy. I think it's gonna be enough for it to go. We need to finish making the rest of our fog machine, and that means we need to put this little guy on top of there. Oh, not quite yet, Georgia. All right, so what we're gonna do is we are gonna cut the top part of whatever plastic bottle you have. It could be, it doesn't even have to be plastic. It could be glass, it could be metal, all that would be fine. So I'm just gonna get it cut started in there. So once it gets started, you can get your scissors inside, and then you can get it cutting a little better. Just like that. All right, so now I'm just gonna cut through this nice and slow. This is a little bit of a smaller one than I'm used to working with. It's very little, which kind of makes me love it. It's trickier to cut though, because I don't have enough space. I sort of have a crude, rough cut on this. I'm gonna clean that cut up. One of the great things about making things is you've got time to fix things that don't quite go according to plan. So I'm just gonna start to cut this down some, just like this. I'm gonna have my sidekick tape this on to the top of our tuna can. So if we have our tuna can, the top is really gonna be the bottom. And what's gonna happen is we are going to tape this on. If you use hot glue, this whole thing is gonna get hot, so glue might melt. And what we're gonna do is, in the end, we'll put our fog solution down there, and it will sizzle on there for us, and it will bring the fog right out this tube. So this could be a great thing that you could decorate after you tested that it works. All right, beautiful.
Just enough tape.
Just perfect. Great job, Georgia.
I just want to make something just like this, but a hole right there.
Oh, I like it. All right, we gotta make sure ours is really close.
Can I do one thing?
Yeah, ours is. Oh, careful, that's plastic. We don't want to burn plastic. All right, now we need to make our fog solution.
Can I make something?
So you're looking for to use about twice as much water as you do vegetable glycerin. All right, doesn't have to be measured, doesn't have to be perfect. It's just gonna change the amount. The more glycerin you have, the denser your fog will be, up until a point where then it won't make any fog at all. So you've gotta always be a good judge of that. So I'm gonna add some water in here. I'm gonna mix it all up. Now when this solution gets really hot, it's gonna come out not as steam, but as a fog. So it's gonna look like a cloud. It's gonna be really cool. Make a great cauldron. If you had sort of a hot plate outside, you could just heat up a whole bunch of this. A little bit does go a long ways, so I always think about that. And so now I just have this fog solution, and if you have your own fog machine, you can make your own fog solution just like that. So what we're gonna do is we just need to heat it up, and that is what our little tea light is for. We can just do this. We'll just add a few drops on that. Whoop. Our tea light looks like it went out. I think we're gonna pause, we're gonna make some more holes on this so that we can get even more air in. All right, holes are the really important part. I thought I had enough in here, but I'm gonna use my hole punch and actually punch some holes into the bottom of this. So I'll come back when I have all those holes punched. But we can't put it in there because there's gonna be fire inside. Yeah, right? All right, so now we punched a whole bunch. I use my hole puncher, which is a lot easier, but it takes a little bit of muscle to get all the way around. So this should have plenty of air. So I'm just gonna light up my tea light. I'll put it on in. It's looking, oh yes, it's looking much happier, I think. All right, and so as this gets hot, it's gonna heat up that tin plate, and it's gonna start to make some smoke in there.
And then you put the cap back on?
And then you put the cap back on? Well, we don't want to put the cap on. We want to have some fog come out. See that fog coming out? It doesn't smell like anything. That's a great question, though, Georgia.
Can you move over here?
It doesn't smell like anything. We're going to keep it right here just for the video. Now, we could also add a second tea light in there. If we wanted to heat it up a little faster.
That one can be mine?
We're going to use it for both of them.
But please.
Because for a tuna can, it will fit over both of them, and that will really light it up. I'm going to hold it up here, though, just so that it gets enough air for two. I'm not sure. But that will even heat it up even faster. So now we just got to wait for a moment, and we will see our fog start to come. In fact, you can kind of see it in there. And it's coming out a little bit, which is really fun. There we go. It's starting to sizzle. I see it boiling away. You can probably see this starting to fill up with our fog. And you would just add little bits. You can see it coming out just right there. Look at that fog that's coming out. Which is pretty great. Now, if you want it to be a little bit more dense, you could add a little bit more vegetable glycerin in there. And it will do that for you. Just like that. Now,
whoa.
The more that we add in there, the more it just has to wait till it heats up for you. And that is our awesome little fog machine just like that. It's a tiny little thing. Please be careful though. This metal's gonna get really hot because remember, there is fire under there. All right, so it is gonna get really hot. So just be really careful when you're handling that, or you could ask an adult to help you. And that is our really fun recycle bin fog machine for our amazing movie special effects action. Whoops. That's going on there, which is a lot of fun. I hope that you guys are having a great time making these and also enjoying them in your Halloween antics, whatever they might be this year. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we will see you again for another fun project on special effects next week. Have a good one, friends.